I think I discovered you probably like a year ago.
Really?
Or something like that. I saw your song "I'm Going Crazy," right? Really energetic. So it's a cover, right?
Yes.
It's a cover.
By Natalie, my good friend. I love her.
Oh yeah, you know her.
Yes. She actually allowed me to make the song. So shout out Natalie. I love her. And honestly, the process of making that song was really crazy. It was pretty cool.
Did it keep you going crazy?
Honestly, yeah, I still mention it in my songs.
Yeah. What was the process like? How did the idea to cover that? Because you flipped it completely. Like you made it into like a freestyle dance song, right? You added your rap into it, which is unique. What was the process, the idea? How'd you come up, or like how did the idea just happen?
So super crazy. I remember my dad got a call from my label now, but wasn't my label at the time.
Okay.
And my manager, Charles, we love Charles, actually said, hey, keep in mind, wait, my first time meeting the guy, I've never met the guy before. And he was like, hey, we have an idea. And he showed me the song. And I've heard it before, but I didn't know. Like, I remember hearing the song before. My dad actually wanted me to cover the song. And I was like, "Ba, like, that song's too slow."
Right.
Like, I'm just like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I love the song, but I was like, is it a me song for me to cover the whole thing, you know? So when Charles was like, I have an idea. I want you to cut the song. I want you to go in the studio. We have writers, everything. I want you to write with them and make it your own. And so I remember the day of cutting that song, that was my first time. That was my first song I cut for them. And I was so nervous. I was telling my dad, like, man, what if they don't like me? Like, what if they hate me after this song? What if they're just like, man, this girl messed the song up? Like, you know, because it was already a hit.
Right.
So I was like really scared. I was like, man, like now I have some big expectations to live up to.
Yeah, you have to fill in some like, you're coming in behind a song that at the time was just blowing up, right? And but you like converted it into something completely new.
I know.
And completely different. You totally flipped it. You made it into like a dope dance song.
I really feel like that song was me. Like it was like my breaking out song, like a song that really took me to the next level, to start a new chapter in my journey.
Yeah. So in the music video, you're like at school.
Yeah.
That's not a real school, is it?
No, it was actually, okay. So in LA, it's really funny. In LA, it's like really old buildings, but inside they're totally like modernized. Like you go into like this, for example, a thrift store, and it looks like nobody has ever been in that thrift store. Like they don't even like remodel it. They don't even take out the trash, but inside it's crazy. It looks like the best place ever. Yeah. So that's what kind of like, I didn't think it was gonna be that nice. So when I went inside the building, it was like, it had different sets. So when you walk in, it was like a school. And then you walk in another door, it was like an ice cream parlor. And then you walk in another door.
Like a bunch of studios.
Oh yeah, it had like a wall of graffiti. So it was so cool. Honestly, that was my first time, my first ever professional music video.
Yeah. And you did music videos before that, right? And so what would you say, like, once the video was done and you saw it for the first time, right? What were your thoughts? What were you feeling at the time?
I was very proud of myself because that video, like I said, just opened a new journey for me. And even in the process of making that video, I couldn't believe I truly felt blessed to be in that moment. I was like, wow, like this is really happening. I have a stylist, a makeup artist, like I truly felt blessed. So once I saw the final project of the video, I just felt really proud of myself because I was like, damn, like I did it and I'm doing it. And this is for real. Like it's happening.
Yeah. And once the I'm Going Crazy comes out, right? It comes out and the video is really top notch. Like if no one's seen that video, you guys need to go on YouTube.
I know, you need to go watch it.
Yeah, you guys got
link in my bio.
You need to subscribe.
Yeah, literally subscribe.
Yeah. So that video comes out, and I that was around the time when I noticed you, right? Because actually Spotify recommended your song to me. Yeah. Because the thing is, I spent a lot of time on Spotify, and you know the algorithms, and stuff, based on what rhythms you're listening to, it starts recommending. And then one day, you know, who's this young girl here, you know? And I played it, and I was like, wow. And then I followed you on Instagram. So you do that song, you get signed by a label, right? What was that experience of, like, what were the concerns that you had? What was your family's reaction and support? What were the kind of discussions, and like how did I'm assuming you guys had a question talked about how that was going to impact your life, right? Because I'm pretty sure it did, right? Especially like schooling. Yeah. Right.
Honestly, first of all, I just want to say my label's amazing. I love my manager, Charles. He's literally like, he's my dad in another version. And as you guys know, my dad is my #1 supporter. So to have someone else in a team also backing me up, honestly, was very new to me, because I never really had anyone backing me up besides my dad. So actually seeing people that believe in me and support me was eye-opening, even for me, because at times I didn't even believe in myself. And I'll just say this like raw, you know, like at times I didn't even believe in myself. I had my dad pushing me, and I was just like, man, like to see other people actually believe in me and see our project and see our vision was literally the best thing ever.
How did that impact your school life?
Oh man, I feel like school, I love school, but school is always very hard for me. Since I was like in elementary school, I always knew I was different. I always knew I wanted to be more than what school was, you know? So I had, obviously, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right. You don't have no one watching you. So I had a lot of people that would talk down on me, and at times that affected me, and it put me into this very dark place, and I had to figure out how to get myself out of it. And it wasn't really people trying to take me out of it. It came down to me trying to take myself out of it, you know? So I went homeschool for a couple months just because it was like too much, you know? I had like people online telling me a bunch of things, people getting mad about my shoes I would wear, about my music. They would play my music videos, which I love that they would play my music videos because they would give me views, you know? Like, play all the videos you want of me.
As many times as you
want.
Keep
making me that. I'm just playing. But they wouldn't play it in like good ways, you know? They would play it sort of like making fun of me, like clowning me, like, who is it though? Like, who does she think she is? Like, trying to make music? Like, it was very out of the norm, you know? So I feel like when people see other people do things out of the normal, they're instantly super quick to judge.
I see.
So I was judged a lot, but now I can say without me having to go through that, I wouldn't be who I am now, because I feel like that just made me a stronger person, a stronger mentality. Now, if you tell me something, I'm just like, hey, you don't like my music? You don't like my music, but thank you for listening.
Move on. Like, I have another song coming out.
Yeah.
And so I understand that you're dancers are your schoolmates and friends as well, right?
Actually.
Or no? Am I misunderstanding?
Well, my dancers are either people I've danced with in the past, because I started off as a competitive dancer. And so either people I started off with in the past, people I met in dance classes, because I've taken so many dance classes, you know, so obviously I made a lot of friends there. So just people I met along my journey. Always people I met along my journey.
You know, one thing I was telling your dad when I spoke to him, that you know how you share the videos of you rehearsing, you know? And I don't think I like the way you go in hard on the rehearsal and on the dancing, like you're like super dedicated to it.
Oh yeah.
And it comes off, like you could tell that the entertaining, the dancing You can tell that it's like your focus.
No, yeah.
And that's one of the things that really sets you. There's a couple things that sets you apart from like other younger artists. You know, that is one of them. You know, it doesn't look like it's a hobby to you.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
And it comes off that way.
Right.
You know, and so people want to invest time into like promoting and getting to know an artist who you know that they're going to be there tomorrow because they're dedicated to their art.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other thing that I was saying that to your dad off camera, kind of that sets you apart is that record labels, they don't really develop artists anymore.
Right.
Right. And the fact that they took you in and are developing you, that says a lot of of the future that they see in you.
Yeah.
You know, so and thank you thank you for being part of the.
Oh, of course, thank you for having me. This is an amazing opportunity, and
thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So and then I'm Going Crazy comes out, and then what happened after that?
So next came my second song, which is Rich Girl. But what a lot of people don't know is I finished recording I'm Going Crazy, and they liked it so much. They're like, hey, that same day, hey, we got another song for you. And it was Rich Girl. So I recorded both of those songs in the same day.
Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, so I got to the studio around 1 o'clock, around 12, 1 o'clock, and I probably left at 10 o'clock at night.
Wow. So you wrote your verses, or?
So with I'm Going Crazy and Rich Girl, it was actually a collaboration. I was there with the writers. I gave my opinion. I was like, no, like I think it's better if we say this, and we all came to an agreement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. And tell us a little bit about the inclination towards like the dance, and like the dance music style, and mixing it up with like the rapping. Like, how did that evolve?
Honestly, my dad. My dad always put on.
You got to name drop your dad. You got to.
Guys, my dad is my security. I can't name drop my dad, but my dad, my dad honestly put me on.
Yeah.
Everything I've listened to Michael Jackson, Ricky Martin, J-Lo, Lisa, literally TLC. Very diverse. And I started off as a dancer. Dance was my first love, and it still is my first love. I love to dance. Any music I make, you are going to be able to dance to that music.
And every song that you've put out and every video that you've put out, not only the music video, they all have like the dance choreography and all that, but also you do a lot of dance videos for like social media, you dancing like alternative dance moves and stuff like that for each song. So it comes off that you are definitely a dancer.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to learn to choreograph. So a lot of my dances now I actually choreograph to my own song, which is just like another way for me to grow. So I love that.
Very sweet. Very cool. So right now you have a show coming up. What are the next steps for Gzelle C? And what does the C stand for?
My last name, Castañeda.
So
my full name is Gzelle Castañeda, Gzelle Castaneda. So we just use my name. Honestly, Gzelle C.
Right, okay.
Super simple. Not a story behind it. Not like most of these artists that go through like, oh, this and this happened to me. Now
my friends used to call me.
I know, my friends. No, it's just my name, but with a Z, because my name is originally spelled with the S. But a lot of people don't pronounce the S. It's Gzelle, you know? So changed the Z and just added the C.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself? Like, how do you envision your career? Because I understand you're also pursuing some modeling and acting. Yeah. Tell us about that.
I always see myself wherever my hard work and dedication put me, and also God. But I see myself growing because honestly, my journey just started.
Right.
I like to think of myself like I'm nobody yet, which I'm not if we're being realistic. So I need to keep making goals for myself in order to put me in those places where I can keep growing. So honestly, I just see myself levels from here. I'm not gonna stop. So not stopping, hard work, training.
What are the artists that you kind of that you look for an inspiration, or the songs that you look for an inspiration? Because you mentioned a little bit ago that sometimes when you're doing your rehearsals and trying to do videos for social media, how you go through all these emotions.
Yeah.
Right. What are the songs that kind of like where you find your motivation?
I would have to say a lot of Janet Jackson songs, a lot of Snow the Product. I really like songs that remind you who you are. Like, even if you're sad, even if you're going through all these emotions, depression, all of that, I really enjoy songs that tell you, hey, you're going through this, but it's okay. You're still blessed to be in this opportunity. You're still you, you have to keep going. So I really like motivational songs that even sometimes like arrogant songs, like, yeah, I'm this, and that, because sometimes I have to remind myself I'm this, and that in order to keep going, but not in an arrogant way, just to build up my confidence a little bit, because that's one of the things I've struggled a lot with is my confidence. Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't struggle with that because the talent is all there, right? So you just take one step at a time and keep pushing.
Right.
What is when will we hear new music from Gzelle?
Honestly, man, if you guys just knew the behind the scenes, it's crazy.
We don't know, but
I know.
willing to listen.
It's honestly, it's crazy. A lot of speed bumps. A lot of speed bumps in this industry. And I personally didn't know how many speed bumps there were until I'm living it. A lot of artists, I see a lot of interviews, a lot of documentaries where just like, yeah, you are gonna have a lot of ups and downs, but you're going to be able to do it. And I didn't believe it would be this many ups and downs, but hey, I'm living it. So it's going to come out soon. I'm currently in the studio working on new music. It's just finding the right one.
So dope.
Yeah.
So dope. If it's along, the lines of like top tier,
Right.
and I'm going crazy, you're definitely on the right path.
Thank you.
So, and your dad is like, he's more than 100% like behind you. I could tell just by having conversations with them. So I could tell that you guys are like a team.
Yeah.
Right. What would you say? What would you say is the fact that you're out in Las Vegas, right? Because you're from Las Vegas.
Right.
What would you say what would you say that being in Las Vegas has either impacted or influenced or limited like the reach? Like, do you feel that a city like Las Vegas that's so full of entertainers, right, that it's harder to stand out? Would you say, or no?
I would honestly say no. I feel like living here and being here is another way for me to learn from those entertainers, from their stories, their backgrounds. So I honestly think being from here and living here is honestly a blessing, because I have literally a bunch of people that were from here, did shows out here to learn from.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's artists that come through here every day, right? Yeah. By the dozens, they're passing through Las Vegas.
Right.
So there's a good chance that they're gonna get to know who Gzelle C is just by passing through here.
Yeah.
I wanted to also ask, and I wanted to ask you about the whole dynamics of like, you recently went to the Pitbull show, I understand.
Yeah.
And I heard that kind of impacted like the way you envision like a performance, a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that? Tell us about that show. Like, how did the whole impact of being there?
Honestly, it was crazy. Like, it changed my perspective of what shows are in a total different way.
How?
Just by his energy, the way he put on the show, the way he was performing, the way he was interacting with the crowd, his dancers, the choreography. Because since I'm a dancer, obviously I was looking at how he would move in with the dancers, how he would go in and out of the songs, the hook, the way he would interact with the crowd, the way he would have pauses in his music and talk to the crowd. Like, it really felt like he was genuinely talking to a family. Like, he wasn't just talking to talk. Like, you know how some artists just like, they don't really care about their fans. They're just like, like whatever. It felt like Pitbull, like he was like I felt like I knew him and I didn't even know him, just to have like that connection with an artist and teaching me how to connect with people in that type of way. Yeah. Because I'm still learning.
Right. I was having a conversation with your dad and he was like, oh yeah, we went to the Pitbull show and while she's watching the show, she's turning around talking to me, I'm changing this, I'm changing that.
The next day I had rehearsal and let me tell you, my dancers, I don't know if they were mad at me, but I changed the whole thing on them. I made them come out from different ends. They were like, girl, like you just told us one thing last week, now you're doing a whole different thing, like, Yeah, so now my show coming up, I'm really excited for because I'm changing a lot of things, and now that I've learned a lot of things, I'm just excited.
Cool. Yeah. So if anybody watching ever comes out, probably the place where right now you do the most consistent shows at is here in Las Vegas. So if anybody visits Las Vegas, look up Gzelle C. She might be doing a show, and you can go check her out.
Pull up, guys, and come vibe. I promise you'll have the best time ever.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Gzelle.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah. Thank you.